Good morning. Welcome back. And I'm so happy you're back to continue to learn with me. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to be able to see the whole series of insulin resistance to metabolic syndrome. So I'm really happy to begin our week talking about gut health. This has been something that has been embedded on me by my mother since I was a child. Even though I was exposed to antibiotics because she did trust doctors every time I had an tonsillitis or a sore throat, I was bombarded with antibiotics. My mom was like wise enough to always use food as medicine and reverse this through good bacteria like yogurt. She used papayas, she used aloe, she used what we use pitaya or dragon fruit to kind of soothe my stomach. She was always using food as medicine since I was a child. I always say that she's the pioneer of green juices and smoothies because since I was a very little kid, she was always concoctioning vegetables and fruits and using it as food. So this week we're gonna be using this concept, and so these slides is called gut health and dysbiosis through metabolic syndrome. We're going to continue this series of metabolic syndrome, but now through the lens of gut health and dysbiosis. So last week we talked about insulin resistance and how the body stops responding properly to insulin, causing blood sugars to rise and fuel the metabolic syndrome, right? So today I want to connect those little dots and show you how the gut is playing a good role in or a huge role in this process. So let's talk about dysbiosis. What is dysbiosis? Dysbiosis is a simple concept that means that your good and bad bacteria, the good guys and the bad guys, are out of proportion. And when these two are out of proportion, there is chances that there is going to be increase in inflammation. The gut lining is having that what you probably heard all over the social media, the leaky gut. What is leaky gut? Basically, the toxins, the inflammation is causing your gut to just start leaking toxins or slipping off into your bloodstream, and that's going to trigger your immune system. And the nutrients are not going to be absorbed the way they should be absorbed. So dysbiosis and metabolic syndrome. So this is why dysbiosis matters. It's directly linked to metabolic syndrome. The inflammation that it causes is worsening insulin resistance. Poor gut diversity, that's my daughter sneezing. Poor gut diversity is tied to high blood sugar and belly fat. And studies show patients with metabolic syndrome often lowers levels of beneficial bacteria like Akemia and bifidobacteria. How cute is this little girl? Where are you? That's my little girl. So keep in mind those Akemisias and bifidobacteria, those are good bacteria. They're great for your stomach. We will be talking about the different kinds of bacteria and bad bacteria and opportunistic bacteria in another chapter. But basically, when those good bacteria and bad bacteria are out of balance, is definitely causing an opportunity for metabolic syndrome, leaking of toxins into your bloodstream, and creating inflammation. So if that dysbiosis has already happened, what can you do about it? So the good news is gut health is something that we can always improve in our daily basis. So it will be something that you should prioritize every day when you plan your meals. You can add fiber-rich foods. That includes like veggies, beans, chia, flax. You can include fermented foods such as sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, yogurt, kombucha. All those are great fermented foods. And you can cut back, and the most important part of everything I would say is cut back on ultra processed foods and sugars. Anything that has shelf life and has a lot of writing in the back should not be on your pantry. So that will be excess sugars, potato chips, hot dogs, ketchups, mayonnaise, you name it. It's basically almost everything, cereals, all that stuff is terrible for your gut. So even a small swaps every day in every day of your meals can lower your inflammation and improve your insulin sensitivity. So a lot of you are wondering, how can we test if you have good and bad bacteria and if you have dysbiosis? So in functional medicine, we have a specialized testing that can help us guide our treatments. And one of those is the GI map. These tests help us dig deeper. So it's a stool test that helps us evaluate microbiome and balance, the presence of pathogens, inflammation markers, and digestion. So we also look at nutrient status, food sensitivity, and metabolic markers. This is another test that we will be running in functional medicine. All these will help us have a better picture to find root causes of why your gut is in the right place. So once we have a good picture of how your gut and gut flora is looking, in functional medicine, we have the four-step approach. This model first remove the triggers such as pathogens or food sensitivities. Next, replace what's missing, such as digestive enzymes or stomach acid and key nutrients. And then we re-inoculate or repopulate, if it sounds better, the gut we're going to repopulate the gut with good probiotics, prebiotics, fiber to restore the balance. And finally, we're going to repair the gut lining using nutrients like glutamine, zinc, or omega fatty acids, and many other ones that we have in our toolbox. So this is a structural approach that helps us bring the gut back into balance and supports long-term metabolic health. So if you or your family member is interested on digging a little deeper on how your gut health is doing, please don't hesitate to send me a message to know more about it or schedule a free meet and greet with me to see what can we do for you. Now, let me wrap it up. Gut health is one of the most powerful levers that we have in reversing metabolic syndrome, and one of the best ways to heal the gut is through nutrition. So I'm really excited to hand this over now to Jenna Appel, our registered nutritionist, who will be guiding you on how to use that food as medicine for your gut and metabolism. Go ahead, Jenna. Thank you for coming to be our first guest speakers and jumping on board to help me educate our community.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to be here today to present on the topic of nutrition for insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. I'm going to be sharing my presentation with you all, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this series. My name is Jenna Appel, and I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist. I run a virtual private practice where I help people simplify nutrition, manage their health, and create sustainable lifestyle changes. I'm excited to share today about insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. So what is insulin resistance? Insulin is often described as the key that unlocks our cells so glucose can move in and be used for energy. With insulin resistance, the lock becomes rusty, as I like to say, and the key doesn't work as well. The body responds by producing more insulin to keep blood sugar normal, and this can go on silently for years before blood sugar starts creeping up on us. So from insulin resistance, how we get to metabolic syndrome. When insulin resistance isn't addressed and it goes on for a long time, it often progresses into metabolic syndrome. This is a cluster of risk factors, including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, abdominal obesity, high triglycerides, and low HDL cholesterol. Having 3 or more of these increases the risk of developing type 2 type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And so your nutrition matters, and here's why. The great news is that nutrition directly impacts every single one of those risk factors. The foods that we eat can either worsen insulin resistance or improve it. And the best part is even small, consistent changes can make meaningful differences. So let's talk through some nutrition strategies. This is part one. Let's start with what to add. So high fiber carbs like whole grains, things like beans, fruits, and vegetables help keep the blood sugar stable. On the other hand, lean proteins such as fish, poultry, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, these provide a balance and a fullness. And healthy fats, things like nuts, seeds, olive oil, and avocado, support both satiety and heart health. So for part two, what we want to do on the flip side is try to limit added sugars, things like sugary drinks, refined carbohydrates like white breads, pastries, and instead focus on balance using the plate method, which there's a visual for you here, where half of your plate is going to be filled with non-starchy vegetables. A quarter of your plate is going to be filled with those lean proteins. And that last quarter of the plate is going to be filled with high fibrous whole grains or a starchy veggie. This simple visual tool makes meals both balanced, increases satiety, and also keeps it blood sugar friendly. Now, lifestyle beyond food. Of course, nutrition isn't the whole story. Lifestyle habits also play a big role in insulin sensitivity. So moving your body regularly is important, but so are quality sleep and stress management. Social connections, having creative outlets, and journaling can all help regulate stress and support your overall health and better blood sugar control. Remember, it's about consistency. It's not about perfection. So here's a case example. I always like to give a visual, and this is a visual of a practical and pretty relatable swap. So replacing a plain bagel with cream cheese at breakfast with something like a veggie omelet with a side of berries or mixed fruit. The omelet provides protein, it's got healthy fats, and the berries bring in fiber and antioxidants. Together, when that's in its balance, they help to balance your blood sugar, keeps your energy steady, supports satiety, and it's much better than just a bagel on its own. And so the key takeaways from today, the main points: insulin resistance is often reversible. Nutrition is a cornerstone of prevention and management. Focusing on fiber-rich foods, balanced meal, and a sustainable lifestyle habits, including stress management and creative self-care, can make a powerful difference over time. Thank you again for having me in this series. As I shared at the beginning, my name is Jenna Appel. I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist. I run a virtual practice where I work with clients to simplify nutrition, improve health, and create lasting lifestyle changes. If you'd like to connect, you could reach me by phone or email or visit me on my website. I'd love to hear from you and answer any and all of your questions. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.